and welcome. I just had a opportunity to do a morning breathwork session, just a 15-minute morning session for my friend who's gone on a retreat today. And it was really fun, and it's something I would love to start myself. And if you're interested, put it in the comments. And this is the exercise that we did. It's called CO2, carbon dioxide training, or tolerance training. So with CO2, when you take a breath in, what happens when your body starts making energy is the CO2 is the byproduct. And when you start getting more and more and more of the CO2, the unconscious self or your autonomic nervous system takes that as a signal to take a breath in. So with the exercise, what we do is we get to just the edge and then cross over just a little bit. So we keep our breaths lengths the same, but the volume is a little bit less. So we're in that air hunger space. And we stay there, even though it is uncomfortable, we stay there and send the message to our unconscious self that we are safe, and we just become a little bit more comfortable in that discomfort, I guess. And there's a lot of benefits to doing the CO2 tolerance training. You're able to increase the oxygen to the rest of your body, as well as probably the mental parts of being, knowing that you're safe and keeping calm even when your body is saying no, which sometimes is a mixed signal because you want to listen to your body, but it's okay to be training and know that you're safe. If you truly are not safe, then, listen to your body. But this is the way that we can practice that and work with the communication of our conscious and unconscious self. So if you'd like to start, take a breath in with a little pause at the top, and then let it out. Just your regular breath, using your breath wave with your belly, your ribs, and your chest, taking a full breath, but not super expanding breath. And just become aware of how this breath moves through your body. Any messages of the unconscious self through physical sensations. Just becoming aware, observing. Getting into that nice, relaxed state. And then what I want you to do next is just decrease the volume of air a little bit. And then we'll stay there. This is right at the edge. So we're not at the air hunger part. So it's like, it's less volume per breath. If you took any less, you would start to feel the air hunger. So find where that edge is. Maybe you cross over a little bit and then go back over so you're right at the edge. We're still breathing in the same length with a little pause at the top. And then breathing out with a pause at the bottom. And during these pauses, just be in full awareness of any and all sensations in your body. And now I'd like you to decrease the volume just a little bit more so you cross over that edge to where your body's going to start feeling a little uncomfortable. And that is the message from your unconscious self. And becoming aware, just becoming aware of that is strengthening the bond between your conscious and your unconscious self. So you're just breathing in a little bit less, minimal breath wave activation, barely moving, just taking in just enough breath. But your body is saying you want more. And just stay there, breathing in and pausing and exhaling. Staying at that hunger level for a little bit longer. Notice how you feel. Notice what signals your body sends to you. It can get quite loud. It starts to think that you're suffocating, but you know that you're safe. You're still tracing your breath, as little as it is, in and out, pausing at the top and at the bottom, scanning your body and just listening. Now go ahead and just breathe in a little bit more, back over to the other edge of the hunger feeling, the air hunger. So go back where you're not breathing in full, satisfying breaths, but you're also not getting the signals from your unconscious self that you are in danger. Pausing at the top, and pausing at the bottom. And now you can go back to your natural breath. Breathe in a little bit more. Feel the relief, the joy of oxygen and breathing. Still using your awareness. Notice any changes, any internal changes while you're following your breath. And then let's go back to the edge. So we're decreasing the breath just a little bit more. So if you breathed in any less, you would be in the air hunger. But you're right there at the edge. Find your edge. Listen to your unconscious self. It will tell you, that's the messages that how it speaks to you. It'll tell you when you're at the edge and when you've crossed over to where it feels it needs more. It makes you very uncomfortable. And really, we should be grateful for this relationship, and that our unconscious self is always trying to keep us safe and alive. But now that we have this relationship, we can talk back to our unconscious self and say, we're okay, we're safe. Thank you for keeping me aware. And then breathe a little bit less to when you're in that air hunger space. Minimizing the volume, but keeping your breath the same length. This is a challenge, and you're doing really good. Just keep breathing in as little as you can. Stay with that discomfort. Knowing that you are safe. Noticing any internal changes, any physical sensations in your body, your mind, your thoughts, bringing it back to your breath. And I'm sure you're having a conversation with your unconscious self, and it's saying, breathe more, and you're saying, no, we're okay. No, really, breathe more. No, we're okay. And it goes like that for just a little bit, and we pause at the top. And we pause at the bottom. Now let's go back to the edge, where we're no longer feeling that extreme hunger for air. Noticing any changes, how you're feeling. You're probably saying you could still breathe a little bit more, but just stay in that, not quite where you have that air hunger, just before that. It is a very fine line, and it's hard to stay there. But with practice, we can continue to build this tolerance of the CO2 buildup in our bodies. It builds our endurance. Now, go ahead and go back to your natural breathing again. And just notice any changes. Notice the difference in how you feel. Just practicing this interoception gives us that real strong connection to ourself. Maybe thank your unconscious self for always trying to keep you alive and for all the love. But it's nice to have two people looking out for you, your conscious self and your unconscious self. Because the unconscious self can sometimes is, very much on high alert all the time, watching, looking for all and any dangers. It may have had a pattern of feelings, maybe something from the past it's learned is not safe, but now you're no longer in that situation. So we can learn to be safe and talk back to our unconscious self with gratitude and love. So take a deep breath in, all the way in, this glorious breath, and hold. And then let it out. And thank you so much for joining me today. You can come back to practice with this video anytime. Probably not while you're driving. But practicing it is good. So thanks for joining me.